Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information that is out there. The sky is not always falling on you. No matter what people in the media want to tell you, at the end of the day, you need to find solutions. That is what we do as brokers and carriers alike, is we got to find solutions for our problems. And frankly, you know, I'm all about keeping people in business on this platform and all of my content, because it's the reason why I proudly fly that American flag behind me every single day, is because I want to help everybody live their American dream, just like I am living my American dream as well. Before we jump in, Dennis, Bear, what's going on, Bear? Good to see you again, man. Hey, Dennis has a reefer. He's based out of South Dakota. You guys, if you guys have any freight for him out there, hit him up. David Nelson, good morning, sir. Hey, but before we jump in, as always, you guys got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Access to trailers, whether you're a broker, carrier, or shipper alike, we all need them at some point. If you're an one truck operation or you have a small fleet, you should never have to shut your business down because a trailer is in the shop or anything like that. Now, and there's a seamless option in VHub. And then furthermore, if you're a broker, create a drop trailer pool with some of this stuff. You guys, there's excess trailers that are out there. This is a way for us to get ahead of it and separate ourselves from the competition. Not all of you guys can save money, you know, no matter what we like to say in our sales pitch that's out there. And again, the best part about VHub, you guys, is you get paid to move these trailers. All right. So what they're working on right now, Clearfield, Utah, going to Henderson, Colorado, reefer 2023, brand new, $700 to do that. And that's on top of the freight that you put in there. So that lane is, I mean, essentially that pays for your fuel going over there. They also have a heated van down in San Diego going up to Spokane, Washington, $600 to move that trailer up there. And again, that's a good market to be getting into here, you guys, because it's fall produce season and harvest season out there. There's going to be a lot of outbound freight in the Pacific Northwest, essentially until the middle of December or the week right before Christmas, when Christmas tree season kind of tapers off officially. And then they also have them in Paragould, Arkansas, and Glade Spring, Virginia, going out to Orting, Washington. Again, $1,550 to do that, you guys. So again, hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friends Xavier Campos and Stacy Steen, they'll both be in the audience. Hit them up. Just let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. That's all I can ask. You guys know what to do. Give them some shout outs here. Drew Driscoll, what's up? It's hump day. Let's fucking go, baby. Yes, Vitaly is Canadian. It is established again with the maple leaf and a goose. I believe that's a goose. Thanks for joining again, Vitaly. Sonny Sharma, good morning, sir. Connor Foster, Freight Town Mafia. That is right. Brandon Wineland, good morning. What's up, brother? Bill McIntyre, good to see you. Good morning, sir. And Julia, happy motherfucking Wednesday. We will never stop, but still follow One Call Logistics. Follow One Call Logistics. I love Julia's persistency. She drops it in there every single day. Cody, what's up, brother? Good to see you again, my man. Cody's over here in Gilbert with me over in Arizona. Let's see. We are at day 113 of the Freight Coach Tally. And that's the 113th live show that we've done. And, you know, frankly, we're not going to fucking stop with this stuff, but it's also a reminder of some of the core issues that are in our industry, you guys. Again, I see both sides of it, but again, I'm not just going to post about some of this stuff during certain weeks of the year when everybody is flooding social media about this. This is stuff that we need to continuously talk about until there is actual change that's out there in the market. You know, being a truck parking issue as well as facilities issue in the industry and everything else. Also, just another subtle reminder of a slap in the face that diesel is still at a staggering $5.03 a gallon. It's up $1.66 year over year still. I get all this information though, you guys, from the EIA.gov. Hit them up. And then again, this is good information that you can bring out there to your customers as well to help plan out for bid season, because bid season's coming up right now. And frankly, some of you guys are in it. You're going to be doing your rebids. You're going to be doing all of that shit here. So again, get ahead of a lot of that stuff right now. It's an eagle. It's the only American. Oh, you couldn't find the American flag, Vitaly? I couldn't even tell that was an eagle, man. Those emojis sometimes they're very off-putting, but it's all good. Good morning, LinkedIn user. I'm assuming that's Todd Waldron. I hope that's Todd Waldron anyways. And then Cody Kohler. Let's fucking go. Happy hump day. Cody, did I see on Facebook that you're expecting another kid? I saw your wife post something. If that's the case, man, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. Sunny Sharma, you are right. Let's fucking go on this hump day. Also, I want to give, let me see here. So I've been, obviously working with a lot of my customers and everything else. We go over a lot of market conditions and everything else and kind of how to plan for the future and what is the, an ideal market to go into right now. And, I just pulled up over on, I'm on DAT. I'm using their market conditions tab and everything that's out there. And, seeing out there like reefer freight right now, again, this is just what I'm seeing, very, very loose. So if you're out there looking and you got some freight moving outbound Arizona right now for a reefer, you're looking good heading east, Midwest and east, it looks like is where it's going to go because the inbound capacity, there's not a lot of freight sitting out there moving just as of yet. So again, that like any of those directions that are out there, the Utah market is seemingly in East Texas is very tight for reefers right now from what I'm seeing out there for outbound freight. Inbound freight though, it's kind of same. East Texas is pretty tight overall going out there. Florida is very tight as well. So again, use a lot of this information as you guys are building up your bids and everything else. And frankly, while you're quoting, like take into consideration, it's not just about a rate per mile. How appealing is this freight that's moving out there? And yeah, that's what I'm seeing out there. And then let's flip it over. See, this is what's cool about DAT. DAT is not a sponsor of my show yet, but hopefully they will be one day. But again, like if we're going over to the flatbed market right now, let's see here. Let's go Kansas City, outbound. Go to Kansas City, and then we will go down to Atlanta, Georgia. Let's pull this out. So outbound Kansas City is loose capacity. It's very tight capacity down in Georgia. It looks like the flatbed market's really tightening up in the Southeast is what I'm seeing out here right now. So again, take that into consideration when you're quoting freight going into those freight markets because there is very tight capacity that's in there. So that means that, at least in my experience, there's not a lot of freight coming out of there. So again, take that into consideration. It's not just like what a quote unquote national average is going to tell you, like some people like to throw out there. There are a lot of different considerations when it comes from a lane by lane basis that you are, let me see. Joe D'Angelo, he moved Casey to Atlanta this week on a flatbed. There we go. I love it. How was it, man? Was it did you see any hesitancy out there going into the Atlanta market, or were you smart and booked a carrier that was based out of Georgia to get back home? And then if we're looking at, if we flip it around for that market so if you're going to run reefer, Kansas City going down to Atlanta, again, it's moderate, tight capacity in both freight markets. So again, take that into consideration as we are going out there and navigating through peak season. So yeah, that's my little market condition update. And I'm going to try and start tying this in, especially when I don't have guests coming on. I'm going to try and do this more often because again, I want to go back to kind of the basics of what a lot of my content was early on. And it was just kind of those short clips and everything else. And we're able to do that now at scale where we have a hell of a lot more people who are tuning in for a lot of this stuff. And again, so it's like, as I'm looking at a lot of this information that I'm seeing out there and planning ahead for the next 30, 60 or 90 days, depending on the freight market, like that outbound Phoenix reefer market, I wouldn't be afraid to hold firm on rates on that for the next 60 days, just based on the fact that it's loose and it's going to remain loose here. And again, if you pull a 30, 60 or a 90-day lane history in particular, you're going to be able to identify key traits and characteristics on how a lane is going to perform, at least fairly confidently over the next 60 days. Because as the market has returned to normal in that regard, you're going to be able to provide more and more consistent pricing to your customers that are out there. Let me see. Sunny Sharma, He's looking for a carrier to haul California to Colorado weekly. It is a reefer lane, and you can reach him, Sonny at zemsinc.com. If you have a reefer out in California, Sonny, where in Cali is it NorCal where you're located? And then where's it going to in Denver or in Colorado? If you could put that in there as well, we'll put that out there to have people have a better understanding on that lane. Matt Fink. Yeah, man. I love when Dean comes on the show. He's great, man. I love that guy. And Joe got that covered, $1,700, 800 miles, no issues going on that. So just a little over two a mile on that. Chicago carrier. Gotcha. Rick Wooten, good morning. Yeah, Cody, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. I'm happy for you, man. You and your wife adding to the family. That's what we need. We need more Kohlers in this world. That's what we need. Cody's a good dude. All right, let's jump into some articles here. First one that we got today, you guys, is from ttnews.com. And it is storage and labor plagues logistics companies searching for warehousing solutions. The past few years have been volatile for retailers. Consumer demand spiked, and then products got stuck in the supply chain, arriving late and missing seasonal delivery windows. In response, retailers proactively increased orders to mitigate the risk of delays. However, consumers' demand slowed, leaving warehouses full and operators stacking inventory while waiting for a decline. The product is not leaving the warehouse as quickly as expected, leading to very full warehouses, said Fred Gilbert of Weber Logistics. It's a basic imbalance when supply and demand. And then Rick Magnan, he's the president of RK Logistics based in Los Gatos, aka the Cat, California, said that while the visual of ships sitting at the ports is gone, there is a ripple effect. And what they're seeing out there is what we're seeing, the out of season stock being taken out of containers and put into warehousing that should have gone from the ports to DCs and then onto the stores. They don't want to miss their next window of product being delivered in the U.S. earlier than it would have. And then Pete Bayer, he is a senior vice president at Penske, argues that warehousing is a basic process where product arrives, it's offloaded, then stored. And then when it comes to irregular patterns, there's imbalance and friction. I would agree with that. He noted that friction results in warehousing labor schedules, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go over the stating of the obvious. And then we found more often than not, we're jamming it in. And then the overwhelming majority of Penske Logistics customers in the food and bev and CPG space have seen inventories creeping up. For a number of our customers, they pushed warehousing to 120% of their capacity, which literally means everything is crammed and stuffed. And a lot of the stuff they ordered a year ago is finally showing up. So, it's like, again, what can you do with a lot of this information? What can you do with a lot of this information to help mitigate a lot of these instances that are out there? I think that this is going to be, again, we broke an article down, fact checkers, I'm sure you'll call me out if I'm wrong. It was like last week or the week before about the shifting in patterns of where warehousing is going to be and how you can set yourself up with this information, and to me, it's like the traditional shipping hubs are just going to look different. Like a lot of this stuff, or you got to look at this. Eventually this shit is going to need to be liquidated out of that warehouse. A lot of these large retailers, like they had said in this article, who ordered it a year ago and they're now receiving it. If it's no good, they're going to liquidate it and it's going to go somewhere. So that means additional truckloads. Like this stuff just doesn't just like magically disappear. So for me, I would just start hammering that stuff, especially if it's old news, fake news or whatever you want to call it. It's, the freight is just not going to, if it's going to be sitting there and, but again, to the point of another article we broke down last week, some of these larger retailers are cool with this stuff sitting as long as they know that it's not like specific to holidays or anything like that. Like they're cool with that inventory sitting because they know that they'll need it. And then again, it's just another wrench, kink in the chain, essentially, that we're going to have to navigate through. There's still going to be freight moving with a lot of this stuff. Let me see here. It goes on to say, John Vaccaro, he's the president of Bedaway Supply Chain Solutions based in South Plainfield, New Jersey, said trailers are the first to go to point for every shippers when space is tight. That has created a shortage and doubled the value of end-of-life trailers. There's no relief valve in trailers, it says. It's a four-wall business. You can't do anything about that. You have to use every square inch of the floor and linear feet going up. We try to be as smart as far as racking and everything else. I personally think again, shameless plug to VHub, you guys, like, this is that short-term storage solution that you need to create. I mean, I've had that happen so many times in my career where customers are like, hey, we need you just to drop 5 dry vans for a month. It's to relieve their warehousing space that's out there. Like, again, tight capacity, like rising warehouse inventories and everything. Like, this isn't new, you guys. Like, this shit happens. But again, where's the solution that's out there? There's a ton of trailers that just sit dead miles with nothing in it. They need to be repositioned. This is a way for some of those fleets. Shit, I would look into that. If I owned a fleet, I would look into where can I go stage some trailers at and charge some people from storage. No wear and tear on it. Man, it seems like a solid little profit margin. Let me see. When a product isn't moving, it's easier to pack it in tight, said Ryan Martin. He's the president of asset operations of ITS Logistics. From a strategic standpoint, we try to move dead stock to the worst possible location, but still you're touching it. He said every time you touch it, it costs you money. We have months where we spent 6 figures on labor just to move product around. And Bayer noted that while recruiting and retaining labor is an ongoing issue, we're challenged to find people to work consistently. Again, I think that, again, this is a good article overall to read and go through. But again, it's tough for me to sit here and say, it's tough for me to sit here and say that it's always like, oh, people don't want to work. I think people do want to work. They just don't want to work for $12 an hour in a warehouse. Again, these are all hypothetical examples, you guys. I don't know what they're paying or offering or anything like that. But again, it's like, what more can you do as an employer? Like, as somebody who owns their own company, if I can't fill a job and it's a lot of the money, to me, there's just like, what else can you do to make that job more appealing for others? Again, this is a good article. There's a lot of good information in there on kind of what the next couple of months are going to look like as a whole. ttnews.com, storage, labor plague, logistics companies searching for warehousing solutions that are out there. Again, you guys, I put all the links to all of my articles in the Freight Coach YouTube channel, as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach podcast. Again, I want you guys to read all of these articles on your own and formulate a lot of your own opinions on what to do with this as a whole. Sunny Sharma said Selma, California to Denver, Colorado, and Commerce City, Colorado. So a 2-dropper in the Denver area. Julia, she's been getting an influx of boat transport requests, 40 to 60 foot long, and need reliable carriers. Vitaly says a lot of retail probably have a lot of inventory on hand, but the seasonal stuff will still need to move. Short-term storage via trailers is a great solution. Great solution. Excuse me. David, where's your dry van at, man? Talk to my friends over at VHub. They could probably help you do that stuff, man. VHubApp.com. And yeah, because he's got a drive-in that's sitting that can need that. And Drew and Sonny got together. Perfect. That works. See some help wanted banners up. $24 an hour in a warehouse. Damn, Dennis. Man, I might need a part-time job here coming up soon. For $24 an hour. Again, that's coming from a kid who got paid $5 an hour to pick up trash for my first job. Let's see here. All right. Second article was written by my man who was on the show yesterday, Eric Johnson, JOC.com. MyCarrier rides growing LTL needs to new funding round. Yeah, again, you guys, JOC Inland Conference is going to be in Chicago the 27th and 28th of this month. I'll be there doing the live show from there. So if you're at that conference, DM me, hit me up. I'd love to have you on and shoot the shit with you while we're out there. Let me see. In this article, LTL technology provider MyCarrier has turned shippers' demand for more sophisticated LTL services into a $22 million funding round, the company said. Phoenix-based MyCarrier was founded in 2017 by veterans Michael Bookout and Chris Sheed to better connect small to mid-sized shippers and LTL through their technology. The company said in a statement it will use its funding led by venture firm New Road Capital to expand its product research and development and commercial teams. It goes on to say that they currently partner with 15 carriers and with automated integrations via application programming interface API to their pricing systems. Carriers pay for the software, which essentially gives them a digital customer acquisition tool, while the shippers use a basic product spanning all partner carriers for free. LTL carriers use the system as a sales channel. It goes on to say that carriers need more efficient ways of serving customers, providing innovative data-driven shipping solutions that are easy to implement and use, said Ray Ramu, who's an executive EVP and chief customer officer at Saya. He said that MyCarrier has provided a platform to its customers transformative digital capabilities that streamline their shipping process. And it goes on to say, dude, this is big, man, that MyCarrier is expecting to process more than $1 billion in freight spend across 5,000 shippers. Damn. Yeah, and it goes on to list off who all their customers are. And then it goes on to say that MyCarrier is expecting to handle more than 2 million shipments in 2022, 52% growth. That's awesome, dude. Company's annual run rate, annual projected revenue based on monthly sales reached 9.4 million. Fuck yeah. This is sick, man. MyCarrier, they're out of here in Phoenix. I'm gonna have to hit those guys up. If anybody who's watching this is a part of MyCarrier, hit me up or let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys and have you guys on the podcast sometime. No, this is good. I like this. I've been paying attention to what MyCarrier has done for a while now, especially with them being in Phoenix. And, as I say all the time, Phoenix is the new transportation hub of North America, because literally fucking every company has a facility in Phoenix, Arizona, in the metro area right now. I swear to God, there's a new one coming all the time. But again, MyCarrier, it's like they're going after a segment of the industry that is all about, like that being as old school as the LTL provider is, and bringing some technology to there is a good idea. I think, let me see here. Yeah, I would hit it up. Again, that one was from the JOC. It was a good article overall. Again, it's good information. I like seeing fucking these results coming out here and, people building some innovative shit for the industry. Anything to move this industry along. That article was from the JOC.com. MyCarrier rides growing LTL needs to a new funding round. Yeah, I think they said it was like 22 million. Yeah, 22 million is what I saw, and it's in the article there. But yeah, that's huge. That's a big fucking funding round. Let me see here. Julia, I don't know if you're watching the show still, but Sonny says, can I get your email and phone number? He would like to quote this lane. There we go. I like it, you guys. Building up this ecosystem on the Freight Coach Network. People helping people. Isn't that on the Wedding Crashers? Holy Shirts and Pants. He's just like people helping people or something like that. I don't know. Vince Vaughn said that line. Yeah, Dennis, I would say so, man. If they're paying that much, man, they are desperate. Let me see here. Third and final article is going to be from FreightWaves. Here's how Congress could avoid disastrous rail shutdown. So as we were talking about yesterday, in this about the rail shutting down, and again, it was 10 of the 12 major unions have already agreed upon everything. What was crazy is I saw a post on this. I forget where it was, but it's not the money that they're going back and forth on, because this was coming from somebody who was a rail worker. This wasn't in the article that I saw, but it was coming from somebody who worked on the rail, and essentially they're on call like 24/7. They only get like a total of 30 days. They don't get weekends off and stuff like that, rail workers. So they only get 30 days off in total. So they don't work a traditional 9 to 5. They don't get weekends off or anything like that. And that's what their big gripe is because I think I forget where I saw this post, but I'm glad that this person threw that up there, because it was some feedback directly from a rail worker. And I didn't know this, but like some of them are like, they don't have a regular 40-hour work week. And again, I could be wrong on that, but this is just, the beauty of the internet is you can only fucking trust it for so much. But if that's the case, like, yeah, I completely understand why these guys want time off, because they're only given 3 weeks PTO. and then 9 personal days. But like otherwise they're on call the rest of those days. So it's like, that's wild to think. But in this article, it goes on to say that so Friday is essentially the day of this. If there's not an agreement reached by then, it would be Fridays when it would go in. And then let's see, they give in the article, they give their own personal opinions on what it will look like of the percent chance. Again, it's like, you never know. A lot of this shit could be solved at the fucking last minute. They could come to a tentative agreement where they're not like 100% on everything. And then they agreed to not suspend the service, but they'll give themselves like a 3-week continuation that it has to be done in that time. Because it goes on to say though, like, with this, that the passengers would be affected by this as well. It's not just freight. And then a lot of them will, like the Amtrak in many commuters on the intercity routes, the potential impact on passenger trains has been little reported, but major U.S. Commuter Amtrak intercity trains operate at least partly over freight tracks. For example, Chicago's Metro runs over the UP and BNSF tracks, serving more than 14 million annual riders. And then it goes on to say, who can stop a rail shutdown? The railroads, unions, and federal governments have exhausted all available remedies under the Railway Labor Act. The only entity with the power to end a shutdown is Congress, which must pass a law to do so. And this last happened during 1992. In general, Congress has 3 basic options to stop a shutdown. Cram down. Congress could impose contractual terms on both labor and management. Punt. Congress could simply extend the status quo for a time period of, say, 6 months, setting the parties back to the negotiating table, and then play ball. To avoid election year distraction, Congress could freeze status quo and send the dispute to independent third-party arbitrators. That was done in the 1992 strike. Congress ordered baseball arbitration. Current partisan politics may complicate the rail union negotiations. Unfortunately, passage of any settlement legislation could affect our divided Congress. Expedited passage of legislation requires unanimous consent to suspend the usual procedural rules. But there are drawbacks and everything, and the Senate could be even worse. A single senator could halt the settlement. This happens, 60 votes would be needed for closure or ending of the debate table that's going on out there. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds. I don't know. I'm bringing this stuff up because, again, follow Ari Ash with the JOC, because he's about the most connected person out there when it comes to intermodal stuff. And I've been following him. I subscribe to his Substack as well. That's where I get a lot of my information on intermodal. And there's a lot of real things that could happen from this. Again, that article was from freightwaves.com. Here's how Congress could avoid disastrous rail shutdown. But again, I would follow Ari Ash if you want any, like, the most accurate updates in regards to this. He's got all of them, in my opinion. But again, I look at it like this. So if you are a full truckload broker right now, you need to take this information. Obviously, a lot of these customers are aware of what's going on, but developing additional capacity, I think this could benefit OTR carriers in the short term. Now, again, like, this isn't a simple fix. Like, there's a lot of very real fucking implications that can come down from this. But again, in the event that you need to find a solution, which a lot of us do, this could benefit the full truckload market fairly well as a whole, because this shipments are going to shift, especially if they are time sensitive goods that are sitting on the dock now, that, because there have been kind of scaling back operations. But I think taking this is, there's an opportunity that's going to come about this, and it is bringing down as much capacity as possible on these traditional intermodal lanes, and customers are going to have to make that hard call. I'm sure they have contingency plans in place for this already, especially with how volatile the last couple of years have been. But again, be a provider in these moments, you guys. These are where books of businesses are made or broken, is during these times. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Those are the 3 articles. I just got a small favor to ask, though. If you guys saw value in all of this, share the show. All right? Because if you see value in it, you guys, your network's going to see value in it as well. And that's all I can ask at the end of the day. So Vitaly had to end it out. I bet some shippers right now just don't care where it's stored. They just want to store it somewhere. Very true, sir. Very true. But that's it for today, you guys. We will be back. Best training, Connor Flynn, best training programs for the new brokers. Freight Coach Morning Show, all things Freight Coach. I'm being serious. Like when it comes down to it, the training stuff that's out there, we talk about the realities of it. Connor, I'll answer any of your questions that you want live on the show. All right. That's what we're all about, man. We're all about a value exchange and give me back. But if you see value in this, you guys, your network will as well. So share the show if you could. I appreciate you guys all so much. And we'll be talking to you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. We'll be talking to you guys.